revolt or large-scale protest afterwards. And they actually announced a number of times.
Yeah, the cops just walked in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Should we? Yeah, that I was looking at my notes and I was like,
did somebody swat you?
Yep, somebody swatted us.
Did they really?
Swatted us?
Yep, somebody swatted us.
So I'm pretty sure everyone has seen what happened with Tim Pool's show, where he was actually swatted live on stream last Thursday. And apparently, at first he came back and said it was a couple officers, they were cordial, and, apparently there was someone who made a call claiming that, there was a double homicide and, a person attempted to kill themselves, all this crazy stuff. And apparently, they were nice, but he told them to leave, and, they said sure and left. And of course, everyone was, of course, thankful that these people did not come in there guns a-blazing like some swatting incidents have happened with. And, mind you, people have died with swatting. Let's bring that up right now. People have died during swattings. When someone does a swatting, it is an attempt to murder. So whoever made this call should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a lifetime behind bars because you just tried to kill someone. But I mean, come on, 20-year minimum. What? Just a 20-year minimum. What? Do something. So we hope this person gets caught. But at first, people were saying, it's good that the cops didn't come in there, guns blazing. They use reason and restraint and all this stuff. Well, it turns out, a little sure, yeah, maybe, but it turns out there was a bit more to the circumstance than we originally thought. Turned out there was about 6 or 7 different police cruisers outside of the house, and the only reason they didn't go in guns blazing is because 2 of Tim Pool's employees were walking outside to go skateboarding, apparently at their kind of skate park over near the shed they got back there. And the cops saw them, said, wait, what's going on here? Realized it's probably a swatting, then went to the door, talked to the people, kind of his other employees that were downstairs, and realized, okay, yeah, this is probably a swatting. Now, here's the issue. And what happened at Tim Pool is a public example of what's wrong with policing in America. Big example. They show up, realize this is a fake call. And yes, if you get a call like that and you show up and there's 2 people just walking out like, yeah, we're going skateboarding. You go down to the door and the people at the front door are like, hey, yeah, there's nothing going on here. What are you talking about? Nothing's happened. And it's a bunch of, this is not the case. So they knew this was a swatting. They told them, leave, you don't have a warrant. All right, we're not letting you when you don't have a warrant. Thank you for coming out, but you don't have a warrant, leave. And they said, no, we have exigent circumstances, which basically just means they feel there is a possibility of an immediate risk happening and they need to come in and, of course, take care of it. But the reality is they didn't. They had no reason to believe any immediate risk was present whatsoever. The minute they saw those 2 people outside, and the minute, again, you could roll it up all the way to the minute where they talked to the people at the front door, they knew this was a swatting. They admitted to knowing, yeah, this is probably a swatting. Yet, they still chose to, for all intents and purposes, break into the house. They went in against their will. They told them no. They said, too bad, we're coming in anyway. And search his private property against his will. That is policing in America. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of us, we of course want to back the blue in a way, right? We want to support our officers. And, if you live in a small town, for the most part, you probably know your officers and they're good people. I know a lot of officers and they're very good people. Listen, I respect what they do in many ways, all right? I can never do it. I can never be a cop. It's just, I don't got what it takes. I'll be perfectly honest. However, with that said, we are far too comfortable with the violation of our rights that occur because we go, well, you know what? I get where they're coming from, so I'm just going to let it happen and not cause a fuss. They violated the 4th Amendment when they did this. They had no reason to assume there was any risk there, especially when they even admitted to saying this is probably a swatting event, and they answered the door and everyone was just fine. The minute they answered the door and everyone was just fine. Listen, you can make the argument, yeah, they should show up there and do a wellness check. Sure, I get that. They have no right to search the property once they've established that no one is harmed there, which is established the moment that everyone answers the door just fine. People are outside hanging out just fine. There's no danger present whatsoever. Yet they still chose to break into the house and search it. Now, obviously, thank goodness there was people outside Because if they came in, if there weren't the people outside, they might would have come in a lot more forcefully, for all we know, right? And that would have been terrible. You don't know what could have possibly happened if that happened, right? People could have died. Again, people have died during swattings. However, they realized it was a swatting, yet still chose to violate their rights. We have to be on top of this sort of stuff. These officers should be held accountable. The officers should be held accountable. The police departments that sent them down and allowed them to search that house, even after they realized it was a swatting, need to be held accountable. Of course, the person who called in swatting needs to be held accountable first and foremost, obviously. 100% agreed with that. But just because they went there with good intent does not give them a right to violate your rights. If someone comes in and breaks into my house, I don't care what their reason is, they broke into my house. They had no reason to break into my house. If I didn't want you here, you shouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. Yet we're too comfortable right now with the cops breaking into private property and then saying, oh, it's okay, they're just doing their job. Oh, they're just doing their job. Listen, if you never read the book Ordinary Men, read the book Ordinary Men. That's all I'm going to say. Many cops are ordinary men. They will do whatever is asked of them. They don't care. They will find some way to rationalize it. It doesn't matter. We've seen this happen all through the country where churches have been shut down. Schools have been shut down. People's right to just run a business have been shut down. Your individual right to have people over at your own private property, to peaceably assemble, was violated by officers. I saw it happen in New York City when people, while I was there, I saw a whole group of people arrested because they had a get together of more than a certain amount of people. Their rights to peaceably assemble were violated by these ordinary men officers. And again, please Google the book Ordinary Men. Because these are who these officers are. They might start with good intent. They might start as kind-hearted people. But they are choosing to violate the rights of people. Because, oh, well, I have a reason. It's okay. I'm justifying me violating your rights because, oh, well, there might be a chance. So I'm just going to make sure. I'm just going to make sure for your safety, your protection. No, that's not how this works. That's just not how this works. And for the most part, Tim Pool has been right on top of this, right? Tim Pool has even said they had no right to come in here. He said he was angry about the fact they came in there. The fact that, obviously he's angry about the person who called in the swatting more than anything else, but he is angry at the officers who came in there and violated their Fourth Amendment rights. It was an unreasonable search. They realized when the people opened the door, there was no present danger, yet still said, too bad, out of the way, we're searching the house. That is an issue. And hopefully what happened to Tim Pool here might be for some good in the sense of we can actually look at it and go, no, this is what's happening to people all across the country. People's rights, their Fourth Amendment rights are being violated daily in this country. And yet we excuse it by saying, well, it's for the common good. It's for the common good. It's for everyone's own good. Hopefully Tim Pool pushes back even harder at officers. I know he's pushed back pretty hard at them. He made a whole video. You should go check it out where he was talking about, all the issues about what they did. So Tim Pool definitely hasn't pushing hard about it. Luke, I can never say his name proper. You saw him in the video there, Luke Rakowski. Not 100% sure if I'm saying that right. Obviously he's very libertarian. He can't stand it either. However, I see a lot of people in the comments going, well, don't be too harsh on them, man. They were kind. They were good people. I'm not saying they were bad people. I'm saying they did a bad thing. I'm saying they said, screw your rights. We're gonna come inside anyway. That's a bad thing. They might be good people. I'm assuming they are. I assume most people are good people. But enough with the defense of what's happening. Again, this is a public showing of what officers have been doing to people throughout this country for far too long at this point, where they're violating our individual liberties for the excuse of, well, it's in your best interest. Either way, I just want to talk a little bit about that because it's nuts that someone did swatting. Hopefully that person gets found, convicted, jail for life. It's attempted murder, should never have happened. And again, hopefully these officers, I'm not saying they should lose their job over it, But it needs to be addressed that officers cannot be allowed to do this. You established there was no threat, yet you chose to violate their privacy and search their property anyway. That cannot be allowed to continue in this country. Hopefully this serves as a public example of what officers are really like, in the sense of, you know, yeah, they're kind. They normally will try to work with you, but at the end of the day, they will violate your rights. It does not matter. They don't give a damn. Either way, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hey, leave a like below, as well as, of course, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be talking again real soon.